Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kenda Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. This question is not for a specific situation or a specific person. I received an email, and the question being asked was one of those general questions that you probably all have. So let's look at that. How do you stay so strong when people around you don't believe that midlife crisis is an actual thing? There are a few things going on here. And we all have to deal with this and figure out what we're going to do. The first thing is some of it isn't whether they believe in midlife crisis or not, but do they believe that that's what you're dealing with? And your friends and your family have deer in the headlights radar. They see your panic, they see your fear, they see you spiraling downward, they see you as a puddle on the floor. Or that you are, not just that they see you that from a distance, but you are a puddle on the floor. They're there with you in your emotional trauma, and it hurts them. And we know who's responsible for that. You have the choice of your emotions, but we know that this was something that something has been done to you that is traumatizing to you, and they want to take care of you. They want to stop it, and there's a bad guy. And that person is the bad guy. And when you say, well, it's this, and I don't want to end my marriage to that bad guy, you're making excuses. You're in denial. You deserve better. You don't know what you're doing. You'll get through this, and then the pain will subside or become smaller and smaller until you can thrive. And you just need to figure it out. You need to get through it to come to the other side. And some pieces of that are true. It will get better. And if you are not strong enough, standing really doesn't do well for you in the long run. I believe in standing for a grace period while we are getting strong, because in that it means that we're not looking forward to other relationships, and we're not looking forward to dissolve one fully, because I don't feel that we are at the best place mentally and emotionally to make that sort of life-changing decision. There are times where, of course, you have to make that life-changing decision when there's a danger. Sometimes you have to make it like that. But when you don't have to make that decision, my husband left, but our finances weren't crashing immediately over the edge, and I didn't need to sell our house and do big things. So I could just sit for a while in the grace period of decision-making. But after that, if you're not strong enough to be a stander, to stand what's going to come at you, then your friends deer in the headlights, they have some insight into what you're going through, and it might not be healthy for you, which is why I want you to become strong to be a stander. The other thing is your friends, they watched you go through the trauma, and now let's say you're through it. The trauma might still be happening, but you've detached, or you're in a good process of detaching. You're becoming stronger. You're working on you. Your life is going well, other than this sideshow. But you're handling it. But they remember how it was. They remember how you were like that. They don't want to hear any more of this. Sometimes the damage has been done to them already. We lean on some people more than they can handle. And those personal friends may have just gotten burned out from it. And they need to step aside for themselves, because we're toxic to them. Even if we're no longer toxic, that's how it was for them. And they aren't strong enough to handle it either. What I did was, first, I was strong. I was researching midlife crisis. I have a scientific background. And I was able to explain it in a clinical or scientific style manner. I sounded logical. I wasn't, this is what's going on. I was able to explain it so that other people could learn from what I was saying. What I was saying to them, oh, you're explaining this in a way I understand it. It makes sense. The same thing I am trying to do with all of you. So part of that is what helped me. The other thing that you do is you are strong enough to say, too bad. You don't like that I'm choosing not to divorce my husband. Well, So what? I was also able to do that. I said, you're either, if you're not with me, it doesn't mean you're against me, just step aside. Get out of my way. I don't need to hear about it. We can, have other discussions. We don't need to talk about this. And that's what I told my family. I said, I didn't say you're either with me or against me. It's you're either with me and I might need your support and I might need your help, because there will be times where I am feeling weaker and where I might be having doubts about my stand. And I'd like help maintaining the strength in it. If you can't do it, then you don't need to be there for me. You'll be there for me for other things, okay? I want you to recognize that they care for you when they are going that route. They don't believe the MLC is an actual thing. How much does it matter to you that they believe it? How much does it matter to you that you believe it? Where's your priority, whether they agree with you or whether it feels right to you? These days, we've got a lot of conspiracy theories going around just in the world, and people are believing funny things. Do they think that of you? Is there something solid that we can step on psychologically, scientifically, logically in MLC, where there's solid ground beneath it, we can explain it? Because that's what I relied on. And there were going to be people that weren't going to buy into it. And that wasn't my problem. Now, that comes with the attitude that I have. So I want you to make sure that you have an attitude of, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they think. Find other people. Now, then they're going to tell you, well, you're just surrounding yourself with people who agree with you. And you know what you say to that? I'm surrounding myself with people who are understanding of my experience. And so when I say that, the forums where the other people coming in are dealing with a midlife crisis spouse, and they get it, and they do believe in it too. So you're not trying to surround yourself with people who won't challenge you. Trust me, they will challenge you. They will challenge you on whether you should be standing, because each circumstance is different. They will challenge you on, I think you're contacting him too much. They will challenge you on, you're being too much of a rescuer. You're being a smother mother. They will hold your feet to the fire. Your friends don't know how to do that because they think life would just be easier if you got rid of it. But in doing that, you're not going through the growth that you can realize by going through the experience, because this is going to help you be stronger for other relationships as well. If you don't reconcile with your MLC spouse, you might find someone else who you may want to become your spouse. Let's help that relationship become stronger by first working on what to do with this relationship. And what to do with this is heal yourself and build empathy for what's happening. The reason I felt it was important to learn about a midlife crisis is I wanted to have the empathy for him. I wanted to have the compassion. I didn't want to demonize him. And your friends want to demonize him because that's the bad guy or the bad lady. That is the BITCH that is hurting my friend, my family member. And they want to protect you. And I didn't need them. And neither do you. You don't need them to believe in something that you feel is true and accurate. Take that to somebody to the group where they can surround you and say, you know what, I think your friends are right. This situation doesn't sound like MLC, or no, that's textbook. Okay? Let me know if you have any more questions. And I'm going to try to put this as my email, weekly email, and I'll pair this video with that email. Okay. I hope it was helpful. I'll see everybody in the next question.